when I was growing up, I used to hear things like people used to say, "Oh, this guy got shot over. He stepped on somebody's shoe, or he did that because he bumped them." And I used to always think to myself back then, even that's not really the reason, right? If somebody is going to shoot you because you stepped on their shoe, for example, it's deeper than that, right? This is somebody that's walking around with great mental anguish, right? And it's literally like a time bomb waiting to explode. So that stepping on the shoe thing is not really anything. It's just it's a symbol of something larger, and that's just what it took for it to happen. But that explosion was ready to go at any moment. So it's like it wouldn't matter if it was stepping on the shoe or looking at them the wrong way or not looking at them at all, not acknowledging them, saying something the wrong. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. It's like that person, and I know that person because again, I write about this in Buck, but I grew up around this energy, around people who, you know, would go somewhere with the expectation of, you know, creating chaos. And why did they go there with that expectation? Because they were dealing with deep personal trauma that they didn't know how to express. One of the things I talk about in Buck is that if you don't have the language to communicate, then sometimes the language is violence. If you can express those things, then that's an outlet for you, right? That's why, art is such an important outlet for so many people because they're able to let off that steam and express themselves in ways that they wouldn't be able to express otherwise. Um, and so I think the more we have like language skills and language arts, the more people can communicate with each other. It's helpful because a lot of violence is failed communication, people who are failing at communicating with each other. I think when I was younger, um, there was some self-destructive behavior, and I write about that in Buck. Um, but I think a lot of that changed when I discovered, my passion. When I discovered what I loved, when I kind of opened up and started to write. Honestly, I mean that was the thing for me. So I think a lot of that changed when I found what I wanted to do, and I think for a lot of young people, they're searching for that thing, and that's why exposure and opportunities is really important. Just to see, the more you see, the more you know, the more you're exposed to, the more opportunities you have, the more your mind can think about possibilities. And I think we talked about this earlier. It's just like, you know, you were talking about, are people limited by what they see? And I think you're right to some extent, right? When you are aware of all the possibilities, it just frees your mind when you know that that's a possibility, right? Philly needs a lot of things. One thing I think that we can benefit from is opportunities, exposure. So I'm all about pouring as much resources as we can into facilities and opportunities. So these are, institutions where young people have outlets. When people have access to these things, they'll do them. Nobody wants to be going to funerals every month, every week. Nobody wants to be paranoid all the time. People, but a lot of times they don't have the outlets.